Hello, I'm Veronica Pedroza in Kuala Lumpur with the top stories on Al Jazeera. Pakistan's military says it's reached a key phase in its fight to defeat the Taliban. Troops are fighting street to street in the town of Mingora, the main town in the Swat Valley. But an army spokesman warns the operation will be, quote, painfully slow. As many as 20,000 civilians are said to be trapped by the fighting in Mingora. The United Nations says nearly 2 million people have been displaced by the offensive, but less than 100,000 have arrived in refugee camps. The United Nations Secretary General is urging the Sri Lankan government to allow aid groups unfettered access to refugees made homeless by the recent conflict. After touring the former conflict zone, Ban said that the trapped civilians must have undergone, quote, the most inhumane suffering. Ban also welcomed the president's promise to resettle most of the displaced by the end of the year. At least 3 people have been killed and more than 30 injured after the latest fighting in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu. Government forces are trying to regain control of parts of the city overtaken by fighters seeking to overthrow the government. The African Union has called on the UN to impose sanctions on Eritrea for allegedly supporting the rebels. Eritrea says the accusations are baseless. Nepal's parliament has chosen a new prime minister in a move to try to end weeks of political turmoil. Madhav Kumar Nepal is a veteran leader of the Communist Party. The previous Maoist Prime Minister, Pushpa Kamal Dahal, resigned earlier this month after a dispute with the president, resulting in weeks of protests. Voting's underway in Mongolia in what's reported to be a tight presidential race between the incumbent Nambaryn Engbayar and opposition leader Elbegdorj Tsakyagin. Analysts say public frustration over rampant poverty and corruption could work in the opposition's favor. And the space shuttle Atlantis has had to delay its return to Earth for a second day because of thunderstorms over the landing site in the US state of Florida. The astronauts on board are waiting to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere after completing repairs to the Hubble Space Telescope. They'll make another attempt to land later on Sunday. For the latest updates, you can always log on to our website. The address is aljazeera.net/English.